Living near the beach sounds like a dream, but it can come with some expensive surprises that most buyers don't see coming until it's too late. From flood insurance to rusted out AC units and everything in between, owning a home close to the coast in Jacksonville comes with a few hidden costs that can add up fast if you're not prepared. In this video, we're going to break it all down so you can make a smart, informed decision before you fall in love with that coastal view. If we haven't met before, I'm Josh Rogers with the F3 Home Team at Real Broker, and I work with families every single week who are trying to figure out exactly where to land in Northeast Florida. Whether you're relocating or upgrading to a dream home near the water, this video will help you weigh the pros and cons of beachside living. And if you're starting to seriously look or have questions about neighborhoods and budgets, go ahead and shoot me a quick text. I'd love to help guide you through this process. Now let's get into the real cost of buying near the ocean in Jacksonville. So first up, and probably the most obvious, is flood insurance. Now here's the thing, even if the home isn't directly on the ocean, if it's anywhere near the intracoastal or a low-lying area, it might be in a designated FEMA flood zone. That means the lender will require you to carry flood insurance, and depending on the zone and elevation of the home, those premiums can range from a few hundred to several $1,000s per year. And even if the home isn't technically in a flood zone, a lot of buyers still choose to carry coverage just for peace of mind, especially during hurricane season. FEMA flood maps get updated over time, and what's not in a flood zone today could be reclassified down the road. It's also important to know that insurance companies have been tightening up across Florida, so carriers are paying closer attention to age of roof, plumbing, electrical, and even elevation certificates. These are things you'll want to factor into your due diligence early on. That brings us to another overlooked cost, which is maintenance. Living close to the ocean means you're dealing with salty air, and while that might sound refreshing on a morning walk, it's a different story for your home systems and surfaces. Salt in the air can corrode metal, wear down window hardware, damage AC coils, and speed up the deterioration of anything that's not properly sealed or built with coastal-grade materials. And if you're buying a resale home near the coast, be sure to have a thorough inspection done with an eye toward exterior wear and tear, especially window frames, soffits, railings, and the HVAC system. Replacing an outdoor AC condenser that's corroded from salty air could run several $1,000s unexpectedly. Even things like irrigation systems and outdoor lighting need to be salt resistant or they just won't last long. And then there's paint and stucco. These homes often need more frequent touch-ups because the finish breaks down quicker in that oceanfront climate. So when you're budgeting, don't just think about the purchase price. Think about what it's going to cost you year over year just to keep the home in good shape. And while we're on the topic of maintenance, let's talk about landscaping. Now you wouldn't expect it, but landscaping costs near the beach can actually be higher than inland properties. That's because a lot of tropical plants struggle in the sandy, salty soil unless they're specifically chosen for coastal resilience. So you're either going with native grasses and hardy plants or spending more to replace landscaping that just doesn't thrive. Also, some communities close to the beach or marshland require seawalls or reinforced bulkheads, especially along waterfront lots on the intracoastal. These seawalls are not cheap, and if they need repair or replacement, that can be a six-figure investment. And here's a smaller detail that sneaks up on homeowners: sand. It gets everywhere, into screen enclosures, porches, door tracks, and even HVAC filters. That means more cleaning, more servicing, and more upkeep if you want the home looking sharp and systems running smoothly. Before we head into the next section, I just want to say, if you're watching this and wondering which neighborhoods have the best combination of beach proximity without these surprise costs biting you later, shoot me a text. I can help you compare areas and figure out the right balance based on your goals and budget. When you're buying close to the beach, you're almost always paying a premium, and while some of that is for location and views, a big chunk of that cost is for lifestyle, and that comes with higher price per square foot and sometimes higher HOA dues. Some of the communities like Atlantic Beach Country Club or parts of Ponte Vedra Beach offer incredible walkability and prestige, but that can also mean association rules that dictate everything from paint color to rental policies. These HOAs can be helpful for property values, but they also come with added costs and sometimes limits on what you can do with your property. Make sure you're reading through the covenants and restrictions and understanding what the HOA includes. Sometimes it covers maintenance and security, and other times it's just for amenities and basic landscaping. You'll want to budget for both monthly and special assessments, especially in older communities that may need infrastructure upgrades. But even if there's no HOA, beach properties tend to hold a certain prestige, and with that often comes competition when homes hit the market, which means bidding wars or waiving contingencies to win the deal. That's an extra layer of cost and risk that many people don't factor in. Now let's look at one more big factor that plays into long-term cost: resale and value stability. The truth is, beachside living isn't for everyone. So while ocean proximity helps with desirability, it doesn't always guarantee appreciation, especially if the home has deferred maintenance or is in a less updated area. That's why buying near the ocean has to be the right fit for your lifestyle long-term, not just a short-term upgrade. Some areas like Neptune Beach or certain parts of Jax Beach have high walkability and community charm. But if the home is outdated and surrounded by new construction, it might not hold its value the way you expect. And then there's the flip side. Overpaying just because it's beach adjacent doesn't mean it's going to sell fast if market conditions shift. You also want to factor in storm risk. Hurricanes, tropical storms, even king tides, they all increase potential exposure to damage and insurance claims. And that means when you go to sell, buyers are going to be asking those same questions you're asking right now. So if you're seriously thinking about buying a home near the ocean in Jacksonville and want to make sure it's the right move for your life and your wallet, text me. I'd love to help you walk through the pros, the costs, and whether it truly lines up with what you're looking for. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.